This one. Oh, hey there. This is IQ session number 90.
We're at 90.
We're in the 90s.
We're nearly at a hundo.
Nearly.
I'm excited.
We're in the 90s. I was born in the 90s. 1990. There you go. Fun fact for you all.
What do you remember about it?
Not a lot. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Not from 1990. No.
Well, I'm glad.
No.
Could have been a bit graphic. Sorry for those of you eating.
I saw the light. Anyway, what a way to start off an IQ session. Thanks for tuning
0
in.
to 100.
Tonight is called a pulse check. It's all about what is a pulse check. We're going to address this from two different angles tonight. First of all, those of you that are doing the current 8-week challenge, we've included pulse checks this time, which is a really awesome addition because so often we get caught up in our own emotions and can't see progress where progress is. And so having things to have to measure against, so good measurable metrics, that's the word. I was going to say measurements, but that was too many measures, is a great way to just check in and actually have a reality check, or what we call a pulse check, of how far you've actually come, because we are in an 8-week transformation challenge. So it is actually judged on your final photos, and it's only judged of you versus you, not you versus anybody else. It's just on the transformation in your body. And we do that by photos, but quite often we can be clouded. We can be clouded by our emotions and what we see in those photos. I can speak for myself. I'll take one of these progress photos, I'll check it out, and I'll be like, oh, look at that, or ew, look at this, and rather than seeing my progress for what it is. So this is a really great measurement tool, especially for those that don't have as much transformation to do anymore. Maybe you're a little bit closer to your goals. You've been doing this for quite some time, and you're just having, minor tweaks and shifts and just keeping you kind of like just in track, kind of like putting the bumpers up when you're playing 10-pin bowling. So this is a great way for you to see take your focus off weight loss and that kind of transformation, but also see how you're transforming when it comes to physical fitness and strength, because everything we prescribe is exercise first. And this is how we should focus and attack the day and life, with exercise first, because whether you've got weight loss goals, you've got fitness goals, everything in life revolves around exercise, and we need to include that into our daily habits. So giving us this focus is a really great way for us to kind of take off our mind away from weight loss, which often leads to thinking of lack, like, oh, I can't have this because I want to lose weight, or I can't have that because I want to lose weight, or I need to do this, rather than looking into it as a positive. When we change the focus to the fitness side of things, the fitness and strength gain, the byproduct is weight loss anyway, and we get so much more. It's more of an abundant way of thinking. And we've just found that there's a lot more positives that come from changing your mindset to fitness and strength rather than weight loss.
And treating them for what they are. So example is, if I go in and do a weight session, my primary focus while I do the weight session is to increase my strength on that day. So my focus is only on the strength. So I have an outcome from the pulse check that I want to achieve in the strength session. So whenever I lift weights, my goal is to lift one more rep than I did the week before. I don't go and try to do every single exercise under the sun to try and mix it up and keep the body guessing all the language that the fitness industry's put in there. Complete load of crap, because I can do the same. I do 6 exercises. They're all push, pull, and legs, super simple, big exercises, quick results, in, out. That's all it is. Once a week. Twice a week if I feel like I want to go in because I'm bored. That's about it. But once a week is all I do. But when I go in, the goal is to lift one more rep until I get to 15 reps of that particular exercise. Once I get to 15 reps, I then get to take the weight up, which means I'm going to slow down my reps again. And I just keep building till I reach 15 reps. So my focus is always to be 1 rep stronger every time I do the strength session of my focus for my fitness goals. And fitness is the same thing, because it's a different focus again than it is to strength, but it has a similar kind of parable, because basically what you're looking to do here is, if it's, say, example, you're doing a boot camp and that's your fitness that you're working on, you might be aiming to do, maybe you can only do 3 push-ups at a time before you have to jump to your knees. That's cool. The next time you aim for 4, that shows growth and it shows progression towards where you want to get to. So not trying to be a big hero and big stud and get to the end result in one workout, but actually just chip away consistently and show up. And then by the end of the 8 weeks with all that compounding.
So the reason that we did want to implement the pulse check this time is so that there's always going to be positives, because you're going to have an increase no matter how your food happens throughout the next 8 weeks. If you're committing to the exercise and you're putting effort in there, you are going to have an increase. And we want to celebrate winning and encourage winning more often. And this is another way to do that. And just another measurement, because measurements are quite important so that we can see things for exactly as they are, not worse than they are, and then not better than they are as well. So great little kind of what we call a pulse check, because you chuck your fingers on the pulse to know where you're currently at right now. Not where you like to be, not where you have been, but where you are at right now. And so, yeah, just a great way to kind of check in and see where we're at. We're doing this now so that in 8 weeks you can then compare. Now I'm just going to bring up the pulse check that we've got. I might even share the screen, which might be a good idea. You reckon?
Give it a go there, Grasshopper.
Yeah. All right.
I believe in you.
I know you do. All right. Here it is. I'm sharing the screen. Cool. All right. So this is the pulse check for the 8-week challenge. Now, if you're not currently on the 8-week challenge, this doesn't matter. You can, of course, go and do your own version of this pulse check. But we are going to talk about a life pulse check next as well. This is purely the fitness and strength component of our 8-week challenge. Now, just for those of you that are new to this, on exactly how this one works, we want you to do this before the end of this week if you haven't already done it. You've got a 1 kilometer run. You're literally going to press the timer and go and run a kilometer as fast as you can. Now, if you can't run, that is totally fine. You've just got to do the kilometer as fast as you can, because again, there's no right or wrong, and we're not comparing you against anyone else. This is just so in 8 weeks' time, you can go and do this again and see how much fitter, stronger you have become.
So you could do that as a walk, on the rower, on a bike, paddleboard. If you wanted to do it on a paddleboard, you can do any which way. It's just 1 kilometer, the distance for you to do as fast as you possibly can. Now, on that there, I said as fast as you possibly can. Now, some people, bless their little souls,
cotton socks.
That's what I wanted. They tend to, it's why we used to do challenges very similar to this right back when we first started. And it was a matter of progressing with your strength and your fitness from the start to the finish. So what people started to do, because they got so competitive and they loved the outcome of it, is they would boycott the first one to look like a stud in the last one. This is why we canned it, because it was too hard to gauge whether the person gave you max effort at the start to be fair at the end. But the reality is, if people took it seriously for themselves, they will have an amazing transformation anyway. They don't have to boycott it to cheat to get there. So when it says 1K run, or whatever it is you choose to do, as fast as you can, it's not like, I'll just go 3 quarters and then at the end I'll do all the quarters and I'll be amazing.
Because you're not being judged on this. This is purely for you to have, some tangible data at the end of this as well. Now, the 1 kilometer run, I've been asked if it's better off to do it on a treadmill. I'm going to say no. It's better off for you to do this out in the real world so that you can gauge on your specific efforts. When we hop on a treadmill, that keeps us into a certain pattern and a certain speed, so it's a little bit assisted. Yeah. So we want you to pick, it doesn't matter if it's hilly, flat or anything, because what we'll get you to do is just do that same track in 8 weeks time so that you can compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. So it's 1 kilometer as fast as you can. And if you need to, you can do it on a bike if there's no way you could even walk it. But it doesn't have to be a run. It's just as fast as you can get that 1 kilometer done.
If you are going out and doing a run, I suggest if you can get to an athletics track, because the road, the track is perfectly flat. It's easy to manage. You can work out how many laps you have to do. You don't need to be making sure the GPS is all lined up or something happens or it drops out or whatever it is. Just two laps or 2.5 laps will give you 1 kilometer. It's nice and flat. It's easy. It's typically sheltered relatively well from the wind and stuff like that. So you can do that there. You can have a good rest, and you can do the next one, which is the 100-meter sprint, because the track has it already made up for you. You don't have to go and pace out your steps and try and figure out where 100 meters is. You're already at a place where it specializes in 100 meters.
So the second one is a 100-meter sprint, and it's literally, don't do this within your 1 kilometer run. Stop your 1 kilometer run, have a rest, let your tank refill, and then you're literally going to run 100 meters as fast as you can, full noise, just to get a gauge. Again, there's no right, wrong. There's no, this is what you should be doing. It's literally just to see where you are right now. It's a pulse check.
And I don't have my watch on me, but if I did, I would show you how you would start that run. So if I'm doing a 100-meter sprint, I'm not going to have my friend or my husband or partner, or whoever it is down the other end, saying, go like this, because of the delay in starting and stopping. You are going to have your watch in your hand or on your wrist, and you will start it as you run, and you'll stop it as you cross the line. You'll be in charge of it. Don't let someone else be in charge of it, because what can happen, bless their little cotton socks again, is they can hit the wrong button. You can do your best effort and it be not recorded because they've stuffed it up. You know how to operate your watch. You do the work. It's on you then. And then you can't blame someone else for it not being done.
All right, next up is 2 minutes of push-ups. It's literally that. Set a timer, see how many push-ups that you can do. Now, we want these to be as strict as possible. So we're going to talk about a hand release push-up, which is when you go all the way to the ground, resting your chest on the ground, lifting your hands off, putting them back on, and then pushing up. Now, when you do your push-ups, make sure that there's a full extension of your arm. And that's why we say get to the ground, so that it's measurable again, not going, oh, I'm a legend at these and I'm actually only doing pulses. We want you to have targets. So full lockout and chest to the ground, take off the hands, then push them down and up again.
And Sheridan is the pulse queen with push-ups. If you ever watch her online, you'll see that she's very quick to do them. Harpies, little kids ones. No, but what we want you to do, start on your toes, as many as you possibly can. If you need to drop to your knees, that is cool, but do as many as you can on your toes till there's nothing left. Drop to your knees and do the same thing, hand release push-ups.
Now, if you do that, you need to record how many you do on your toes and how many you do on your knees. However, there's no right or wrong, and there is two minutes there. So I would encourage you do them all on your toes. Doesn't matter if you only get like 5 out
or 700.
If you can't possibly do them on your toes, then do them all on your knees. But I want you to just try and see how far you can get in those 2 minutes.
And to help with the counting side of things, if you need to, I suggest you do this. Set your phone up to the side and do the push-ups in the phone, because you'll have a visual from when you first did them to when you last did them on the 8th week. You'll be able to compare the two videos and go, oh wow, because maybe you only do 10 more and you're disappointed because you only did 10 more and you thought you're going to do 400 more or whatever it is. But you go back and look at them and they're so much more stricter. They're so much more accomplished. You get through all of them before you need to have a breather or whatever it is. You can compare the videos. And when you look at that, like the picture, like the photos when we do our before and after shots, the same thing is there for you to have a look at and go, oh, wow, I actually improved dramatically. I can see that. So it reinforces that what you did is amazing, regardless of how much more you do in the 8th week.
Yep, cool. Next one is plank for time. Literally hop into a plank position, put a timer on, go for gold, baby. The current world record, I think, is like for the women is 8.5 hours or something. So if you get to that, go, you good thing, but you need a hobby. Ain't nobody got done with that. But again, no right, wrong. And another way to do it again is to film it so that you can see in 8 weeks time, the difference on how you look, but you can also then critique it.
All right. A plank is designed to be, where's my arm? There you go. Is designed to be flat. If this wrist part is someone's bum, this is not a plank. You're not kinking your bum in the air.
We're not
that
doing
is no
pyramids.
longer a plank. That is, you've finished. Stop what you're doing and stop the timer and go, oh, I only did 32 seconds, whatever. It does not matter as long as it's your max effort with great technique. So I highly suggest that you do it on a video, because what will happen, even if you get to the end of it, when you go back and watch the video, the timer will be going alongside the video.
Yep.
You can then go, I did it for 3 minutes. And when you watch back the video, you go, oh, actually my bum kicked up in a minute at a minute 2. So you actually did a minute 2 before the form shifted, because you'll start good and it'll finish funny. That's just what happens.
All right, the next one is the Fbfm Amrap. So this is a 15-minute timer. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 exercises there, and you're just going to keep going through that list as many times as you can for the 15 minutes. Now, if you get through 3 rounds and then you get up to the 13 of the 15 push-ups, make note of that. So that next time, you know, you've got to get through 3 rounds and 14 of the push-ups minimum to try and beat your last effort. Super simple. C to G obviously means chest to ground, burpees. Other than that, it's all pretty self-explanatory.
Obviously, with the plank, you're going to need to have a timer or watch accessible to be able to see as well.
All right, now the optional extra for the pulse check is the Relentless pulse check, and this is where we add in the lifting of weight, so this real strength component. Again, this is just an optional extra. If you would like to do this, we are opening up the studio to you to be able to come in and do this in the studio if you're close by and can make that happen. It's just got to be within the Fbfm the gym hours, so please reach out if you would like to come in and have access to that. We've got deadlifts, bench press, chin-ups, lat pull down, a 5K run. This one's not done at the studio, obviously. 500-meter run, and then 30 calories on the air bike. So 500-meter row, and then 30 calories on the air bike. Deadlift, bench press, lat pull down. There's some technique involved in some, or more so the deadlift. So please make sure that you're taking that into consideration and being very diligent in your technique. Other than that, pretty self-explanatory.
It says there you got to do 15 reps for the deadlift, bench press, and the lat pull down. That means you have to complete 15 reps to record the last time you completed the full 15 reps. So say, for the example we give you guys is that, say Sheridan does 70 kgs for 15 reps, then she goes up for a next attempt because you can complete 15 reps. You then need to try again if you can do the next weight up. So 70 kilos she hits all 15, awesome. She has a little breather. She then takes the weight up 5 to 10 kilograms, depending on where you think how hard it was. In this case, I'm going to say Sheridan went up 10 kilos and she went to 80 kgs and she only completes 7. That means on her pulse check, she will write that she did 70 kilos because she completed 15 reps. And beside that, she'll put 80 kilos for 7 reps or whatever it is she did. So there'll be actually 2 scores on each week that you do those. And the reason for that is because if you can lift 15 reps of something, it is too light for you. So it's time to take those weights up. Your goal at the end is to increase. If Sheridan did the 80 kilograms for 7 reps, her goal is to try and get that 80 kgs to 15 reps, if not 90 kilos or whatever it is. And you're just trying to beat what you can do in 8 weeks' time. Easy.
Easy. Cool. So that is the pulse check. That is this is the fitness side of the pulse check that we wanted to talk about tonight as well. As part of this document that we've sent out, I've actually got them customized to send you. Oh, spoiler alert, here we go. But your name will be on this with all the information that you send through so that you can actually look at this on week 8, see what your original goals were, see what your original scores were. So we need you to email through your results to transformation@fbfm.com.au so that I can actually input this information and send it back to you, so you have a little bit of a document as well, which is cool. Something a bit more tangible this time, a little bit fancy. Along with that, the results of your pulse checks, you need to send through what are your top 3 goals, what do you hope to learn from this challenge, and what are some advice for yourself for when things get tough during the challenge. So you guys can actually look back on this document throughout the 8-week challenge, and we're going to reference it too as well. So that's what's coming to you. Now that is the fitness side of the pulse check. Now, we have spoken before about the lifestyle side of pulse checks. This is just a really good gauge to just, again, it's just to check in and see where you're at right now. Now, Matt and I actually have been quite slack on this. We used to be incredibly diligent at actually having a pulse check every Monday was our day. We would sit down, we'd have a beautiful lunch together. We'd always do it at a cafe or have takeaway, grab a coffee or something from a cafe so that it wasn't reliant upon myself or Matt to have cooked. So we could just enjoy the session. And we would literally go through all areas of our life, check in, see where we're at, together as a relationship, to where we're at with our career, our health, and where we're at as well in relations to our goals that we'd set for the year as well. So one of there's studies done, and I can't quote them verbatim, but they talk about the people that write down goals are like a huge percentage more likely
80%
more likely to actually achieve them. And then of that percentage, those that read those goals regularly, again, are like, almost double the chance of actually likely to achieve those goals. So proof is in the pudding. The more often you read your goals, the more likely you are going to achieve them.
And write the goals. This is the key. Write them as if you've already achieved them. So for example, if I want to lift 200 kilograms on a deadlift or something like that, my goal will be written down, I can lift 200 kgs on a deadlift. Mm-hmm. So that I'm preparing myself to get ready for the 200 kilograms. I'm not saying I would like to, it'd be nice, but maybe I can't do it. That's how people, when they
always go to that annoying accent,
because that's what people do. They talk themselves out, and that's whiny, and I don't like it. So what I want you to do is write it as if you've achieved it, so that you can go forth and achieve it. So prepare for the victory at the other end. So many people go, I would like to, and that's not a goal. A goal is conviction. I'm going to achieve this on such and such date. That's why the dates are so important. However, before we get into the nitty gritty of all that sort of stuff there, the pulse checks comes back before you can even start, much like the fitness test, is you got to get a checkup from the neck up of yourself before you can do that. All right. Now, what does that mean? It means you got to, I love this one. It's intimidating. It's actually quite embarrassing, and it can be weird. There's 4 things you have to do. First of all, you need a mirror. You need a chair to go with that mirror. That'll come make more sense in a second. You need your laptop that has access to all your bank accounts and everything like that. You need a photo of your family, and maybe you don't have it on your life right now. Then it would just be a frame with nothing in it. And that's okay. And then the last one is we do spirituality, or you could do at the same cause. Maybe it's got to be something more than yourself. So we do spirituality because we have a connection with the big guy, all that sort of stuff there. Maybe it's not your choice. Maybe yours is charitable stuff that you do. Contribution. All right. And you're going to go, if that's your thing, that's cool. But you'll go, when was the last time I did that? And I'll make this make more sense in a second. Here's how you do the first part. You need the chair and the mirror first. You're going to rate yourself. You're going to take your kit off, not on camera, no photos needed for this one. This is all you and the mirror. You're going to sit on the chair, not stand and pose properly under the perfect lighting to allow all angles to align to look amazing for a photo. No, you're going to sit on the chair, take a deep breath in, and then let all that air out, and then look in the mirror, side on. You're going to rate yourself how you feel when you see yourself, 1 to 10. 10 meaning put me on the cover nude, I'm ready to go. 1 meaning, oh my God, I don't even want to do that activity, let alone rate myself and that sort of stuff there.
If anything's going to make you get your eating in check, it's that. So if you find yourself binging, go and do that task, and I guarantee you will not be reaching for the packet of chips after that.
And the reason you do that is because it's raw and real. Now, most people, we use the Insta life as the best way to put it, is they take photos like we are right now, neck up, right? We look good, we look happy, because everything down here,
they get the chin down.
Because everything down here ain't so good. So what they do is they do these ones, and they stand a certain way to appear a certain way. That's someone who is not happy with how they look. Okay, that's a key indicator. If you're having to do all that stuff and hide yourself from the camera and stuff, that's not happiness. That's you hiding from something that needs to be dealt with. So by standing or sitting on a chair in front of the mirror naked, fully exposed, you're going to get a pretty raw assessment of where you're at from your mindset. You can't hide. There's no clothes. There's no angles. I don't want the little mirror for your face.
And maybe your waxer thanks us for you booking in another appointment.
First one, health. That's the health, right? That's how you assess your health. That's one component of it. Typically, if your body's not where you want it to be aesthetically, typically there's some stuff that needs to go on from a fitness point of view, from a strength point of view, from a nutrition point of view, hydration, all those things tie into that category.
And from there, then you can also rate your energy, your zest for life, all those kind of things which do tie into health.
Cool. Step number 1, get your kit off, assess your rig in front of the mirror, sitting down, deep breath in, suck it, let it all out. Number 2, open up your laptop with all your bank accounts and have a look at everything you possibly have.
You're looking at your financial position. So if you have shares or the value of your house, your mortgage, all these kind of things.
And the activity goes like this.
Loans.
You add up all the money you have access to, and you add up all the money you owe to people or to things.
We're looking at assets and liabilities, and we want to see you want to see where you're currently at. Are you massively in the red or are you in the black? Are you happy with where you're at? Are you happy with the direction it's heading?
So you're going to take your money and what you owe, subtract the two. And if there's a negative number there, financially, you may want to implement some things and do that directional thing. This is just going to give you a snapshot of where you're really at. If everything was taken from you, where you at? Like if everything was paid off, do you still have money left to live? That's what you need to see. And if you don't, then you can put things in place, right?
When we were first starting on our financial journey, we got ourselves a mentor, someone who was incredibly wealthy and got advice that way, someone who walked the talk. And he's like, cool, how much money do you have in the bank? What do you owe, etc. He goes, cool, so you actually have no money. And we're like, yeah, we do. We just told you we have this much in the bank. He's like, no, you have no money. And he's like, cool, I want you to go and take all that money and pay off those debts. And I'm like, but then we'll have like no money. He goes, you actually have no money. So yes, that's exactly what I want you to do.
You borrowed the money, you've used the money, you pay back the money. That was the thing. And we're like, all right, once we got our head around that, the reason for that, he said, and this was the lesson that really stuck with us. And he said to us, he goes, if you have a rough month in the business and you have debt associated to the business or yourselves, then you have stress in your life.
It's not just business. This is anything.
Yeah, it's life. I'm just using the analogy.
If you have debt and a bad month, you have stress.
As in you lose your job, hours are cut back, whatever it is. If you have all those outgoings, you now have stress in your life. However, if you have no debt in your life and you have a bad month or you now hours get knocked back, you just have a bad month. You can change it next month. You can do it at complete flip. So the reality is that pillar, the financial pillar, is very, very, very important because it has such a nasty overflow if things go belly up. Now the same,
and it can really affect your mental state. It can affect heaps of other different areas of your life too.
And I know people say, so I'm cutting you off real quick because I need to get this point out. I know that people say, money's not important to me and
money
all this sort of
won't
stuff.
make you happy.
But the reality is if all the money that you do have is taken from you, the first thing you're going to want is your money back because you need money to live in day to day. So it is important to you. Just mass amount of wealth may not be important to you, but money is important because without it, you starve and there's nothing that you can do without it. So the reality is it is very, very important. So
no, I was just going to the next point.
Cool.
Cool. After finance, then we sit down and we look at our relationship. We look at our relationship together. So your intimate relationship first and see where we're tracking. And then also you can look into your immediate family and your outer family too. And just, are you happy with it? Do you like them? Do you like it? And just a pulse check of where it's at right now.
Yep. And that just needs to be like 1 to 10. Don't overcomplicate it. Going where we at. 10 is awesome. One's we're like destined to go the separate ways.
And then the next one.
What's the last one? Spirituality and contribution. So these ones here, they're really important because they get you to stop thinking about you and thinking about something bigger than yourself. So maybe it's someone else in a worse situation than you and you want to donate time, money, whatever it is to those things. It's really important that that's important to you. You need to check in and go, have I been ticking that or scratching that itch that I have to do that in my life? Or if it's spiritually, maybe it's that you want to be going to church all the time and being heavily involved in the community, whatever it is. But if you haven't been doing those things, then all of a sudden you can just check in and go, cool, what do I need to do to get back into that? So that you tend to that side of your lifestyle, that part of your pulse check, to make sure that you do it, because we're so easy to push things to the side because they just require a bit of effort. So those are the four pillars. Do you have anything to add on the contributions though?
No.
Cool.
That's
easy.
There's no one to measure against this one. This is purely just your ranking. It doesn't matter what anyone else would think. No. It's just, where do you think you're at between a scale of 1 to 10? Now, this is just a great way just to see where you're at right now. So you can see where you need to focus, what you need to change in your life so that you can get to where you want to get to, because ultimately we want to be 10s in all of the areas of life. But your primary focus needs to be your health pillar, because health depicts everything else. If you don't have health, there's no point having wealth, because then you're just going to use all of your wealth to help fix your health. There's a really beautiful quote, and I forgot to prepare it before, from the Dalai Lama. I'm just going to quickly search for it because I don't want to not do it justice. Dalai Lama, here we go. Health quote. Look at me go typing and doing this at the same time. Here we go. This is one of my favorite ones that are definitely of his. The Dalai Lama, when asked about what surprised him most about humanity, answered, man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money. Then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he is so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present, the result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he is never going to die and then dies having never really lived. Now that is powerful.
That's some big words.
So health is literally the basis of everything. So make sure that you're focused in on that. Check in with your goals. If you haven't written the goals, it's not too late. You can write goals at any time. You can change your goals. Does not matter. Write them as if you have achieved them, because language is so, so powerful. I and am, when put together, are the two most powerful words in the English language. I am
a sexy beast.
There you go. Yep, that's where I was going with that one for sure. So really hone in and use this time to really get serious about what you want in your life, how you want to look, how you want to feel, how you want to be, how do you want your relationship to be. Now, I guess we've given you some homework to do, but I also want to offer you some solutions too. If any parts of those areas are not 10s for you or very far from where you would like them to be, first of all, health and fitness, Fbfm, we can help you. There's a little plug for us. 8-week challenge. If you're not registered, you can actually register late. It does not matter. You just got to get your testing done ASAP and be a part of that. We would love to have you, of course. Making sure you move every day and move like you love yourself. Move for health and fitness, not just for weight loss or whatever it might be. Do it because your body deserves it, because your body is incredible. Us ladies, we can grow humans. That's pretty freaking incredible. So it's about time we celebrated our bodies, for how wonderful they truly are. So move every day. That's going to help you. There's so much information out there on health and fitness, so it's really not hard to find, but we are here and we'd love to extend the conversation. If you would love some help on re-energizing your love for it, or if you've got injuries or anything around like that, we can help. Second one is your finances. A couple of books and places we turn to, just like fitness and anything in life, be really careful where you get your information from. So if you go to someone that is currently very not wealthy, looking for wealth advice, probably not the best person to chat to. Our lives changed when we implemented The Barefoot Investor. It's a book that is updated quite regularly. Great book, really easy to read and super easy to implement. And we literally went from $80,000 of personal debt to
I cringe thinking about it now.
To paying that all off
within
2 years without a pay rise or anything like that, and then purchasing a home and now a second home, et cetera, et cetera. So that one's a really brilliant one to read. From a business point of view, Profit First was a huge win for us for the business. It's like the Barefoot Investor for business. And I'm sure that you'll be able to find people that have walked the talk before and get your information from there too.
On that one really quickly too, on someone who isn't rather wealthy, but you're seeking to get it financially ahead, if someone is often, because everyone's really kind and gives opinions about everything in this day and age that we live in, if they aren't the person that you want to be like, you look at their life and go, cool, do they have what I want? If they don't, everything they're about to give you is probably not the right thing you need to hear. That's okay. Be polite, listen to it and say, thank you very much. What you can do is ask really great questions and find out what they did wrong. And then don't do that. That's a good point. Oh, I used to go out and buy this on my credit card and this. If you asked us before we figured our stuff out, we were really good at ticking things up on credit cards, higher purchases, all those things. We had no challenges doing that. No. We had a lot of challenge paying back what we owed. Until we had a strategy, which is why these books are really important. Yeah, so they're really great ones, easier to read or listen to if you get the Audible version as well. Then there's the relationship side of things. We totally have to pay some respect to the great book, The Queen's Code. From a female point of view, is a huge one. The prequel to that one is The Keys to the Kingdom, which really helped Matt as well. And just seeking great books and great mentors and things like that. Find people that you love their relationship and chat to them. I find it really interesting that quite often people will turn to people that aren't successful in the field that they want to be for advice. Like
talking to a divorced woman about relationship, maybe they're not the person to talk to. So just be really careful about where you get your information from. So that is one that I would totally recommend. And then from a spiritual side of things and contribution, I don't know really where else I would turn to. Oh, there's probably two books from our point of view. We are Christians, so of course the Bible is definitely a pretty good one. But
it's a big read.
The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn.
Game changer.
We give, I reckon we're the single biggest purchaser of that book in all of the world. We give it to everyone. It's the easiest book to read. It's so simple. If you're not into God, you can just change the word God in there to the universe or whatever it is. Law, does not matter. That book has helped so many of our friends and us included. So that's a really good one to read. Super simple. You can literally just flick it open at any moment. So I challenge you to go grab a copy of that. I've actually got a scanned copy on my phone. So if you would like it, I can actually just text it to you. So please let me know. But there's some strategies to tweak anything that you're not so stoked about in your pulse check. But again, we're always here to help. We love this stuff. We love the personal development side of things. That's exactly why we're called Fit Body, Fit Mind, because we're not just about the exercise. We're about the exercise of the brain too. And our lives have been turned around by those books, for sure. And if you're not a reader, you can listen to them too.
And the reason for the pulse check is really simple, is because quite often we go for so long in one direction and we're going just a little bit off course, but over a period of time, we're way off course. And all it takes is a little check-in, little check-up from the neck up. Get a little real with yourself, get real with your partner, get real with your finances, get real with your spirituality, your contribution, and check in regularly so that if you are going off course, it's just a wee tap back so you're back on course. And those little check-ins, if you're once a month, if you just did those things there as a bare ass minimum, you're going to be a lot better off at the end of the year come this time.
I forgot one book that I need to add in there as well for the relationship side of things, the 5 Love Languages. That was a big one too. And a lot of these books are actually based off is how we based a lot of our FBFM philosophies, just understanding humans and people better, so that we can make sure that we all feel valued and loved and cared for and things like that too. So there's your pulse check, and I hope we've made it clear as to why they're pretty important to get one done. Again, just like Matt said, then to make sure that you're on track and know where you want to head, so you can get there quicker, because if you don't know where you're going, you can't get there quicker. But we have obviously talked way too long tonight. I'm so sorry. If you need any help with anything that we've chatted about tonight or anything else, please, we're here. Reach out. We would love to help you. If you have any requests for IQ session topics, please let us know. And today's week 6, we've got Dino. Next week, we've got a special guest, Kim Burke, coming to chat to you. So that's a bit exciting. And she's going to do hers about perspective. Ooh, that's a good one. You'll like it, I guarantee. Anyway, we love you guys. Thank you so much for investing some time in yourself tonight and with us and hanging with us. We love you. Enjoy your Thursday night. We'll see you tomorrow for Lift. Be awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, legends.
Ciao for now.